I'm starting a Skin of Color program within the Department of Dermatology at UCSF. Skin of color is the term that we use in dermatology to describe the skin of Asian, Black, and Hispanic patients. And we know in dermatology that diseases manifest a little bit differently in those skin types, maybe look a little bit different because of the melanin or the pigment in the skin, and then also respond to treatments a little bit differently. So I'm excited to be able to provide a new service for this population in the Bay Area. This is the first clinic of its type in Northern California. The reason why I'm doing this is mainly motivated by patients that I've met over the years. Many of them have expressed to me that they'd been to dermatologists before who they felt like didn't really understand their skin. So I'm happy to be able to provide a service to those patients in particular. A lot of the patients that I will be serving are traditionally underrepresented in research studies, so it will be very important to be active in the research community and publishing papers and contributing to the body of knowledge that we know already exists in order to move forward what we know about these diseases and contribute to knowledge about treatment as well.
So undergoing kind of intensive training in transgender health as well as transgender surgery is my main focus for my project. And being able to eventually create a comprehensive transgender gynecologic clinic, continuity clinic for patients. So they have, a safe space, like a home to come to that they know the clinicians, they know the faculty. Everyone is, well trained in, understanding what pronouns to use and how to approach people and, thinking about that in that way. So they don't feel as if they can't access care. I think being here has allowed me to truly kind of investigate all of those kind of pride ideas in terms of equity, making sure everybody has access to care, making sure everybody around you that you work with feels comfortable. People understand what diversity means, and not just in terms of social backgrounds or ethnic backgrounds, but understanding that, like, how you perceive people, patients, your coworkers, clinicians, how you perceive those people when they come into your sphere is very important, and making sure that everyone feels that they have a true space, from the person that's cleaning the bathroom to the person that's, taking in all the patients at the front desk to the nurses to the doctors. They understand that they have a place that is open for them to express whatever ideas that they may have, and that those ideas will be supported. As an African-American male in the field of OBGYN and obstetrics and gynecology, and even just in academic medicine in general, to have an award that truly says that we support the work that you do, that we support, we have an investment in your success. We want to make sure that you have access to things as an academic clinician and that your career path continues on, I think is something so valuable and very unique to UCSF. And, having the opportunity to access the Watson Scholarship really says that, UCSF is devoted to my success as a clinician, and my career in academics, which is wonderful.
We really aim to produce actionable insight that health officials and people working out in the field can use to better target those control interventions that are available. So we aim to produce information that is directly relevant for public health and for global health to more rapidly reduce morbidity and mortality of infectious diseases. This is very exciting times to do research in infectious disease transmission because there's novel technologies, laboratory technologies, molecular tools, computational power, and therefore by combining field data with these new technologies, it is now possible to start answering questions that was not possible a few years ago, and to get like very high resolution picture of when and where transmission of infectious diseases is occurring.
My job's an amazing combination of clinical work and research. Clinically, I work at the City and County of San Francisco Safety Net Hospital, which is amazing because we take care of the most vulnerable populations. We see all sorts of patients as far as age, gender, immigration status, you name it. We take care of them and every sort of medical condition. And on top of that, I get to do research at a world-class research institution. So I hope that the work that I do with my research really impacts the care that we provide patients. Some of that work is how we talk to patients and how we structure the interactions in which we engage patients. And some of it is more policy-oriented. So how as a county or state or even as a country do we organize our care to try to impact patient treatment and ultimately their health outcomes?
So in my role, I have several different roles. The main my main sort of administrative responsibilities at the time are serving as the medical director for our clinical decision unit. And what that is sort of it is a department that will be carved out in the emergency room where patients who are not quite unstable enough to be admitted to the hospital, but not quite stable enough to go home, they sort of are in that medium of sort of their health care or their illness. And so what we have been charged and asked to do is, and what we have actually taken on, is the opportunity to care for those patients in the emergency department for a little under 24 hours. And at that time, we sort of make the decision that, they're not quite doing as well as we thought they could do, and so we admit them to the hospital, or they turn around pretty drastically and then they're able to go home. I think emergency medicine practice is expanding. We're seeing, increasing number of patients, at least by 4 to 5% actually at the general. It seems closer to more like 11% of volume. And so how we organize ourselves to be able to care for those patients that sometimes are sicker, sometimes have needs that span sort of just the medical realm, but there's social needs as well. So how we organize ourselves to be able to deliver patient-centered, quality, efficient, timely emergency services, I think is always a challenge. In looking at the other scholars and who they are and the experiences that they have had and the contributions they made to the School of Medicine, it's just the company that I'll be joining. I mean, it's absolutely it's incredible.
So I think what excites me the most about working at UCSF is the large multidisciplinary team that I work with on a day-to-day basis. I regularly talk to neurosurgeons, neuro-oncologists, radiation oncologists, and pathologists about patients who have brain tumors and other neurological diseases and how to best diagnose, follow up, and treat these patients. Being named a Watson Scholar is meaningful to me because it'll present an opportunity for me beyond just helping me with my research and my clinical work to be plugged into a network of individuals who are really committed to excellence in the space of diversity at UCSF. And I have a couple of colleagues who happen to be Watson Scholars in years prior, and I've seen what they've done, and I'm really excited to be a part of that group.
In our clinic, we do really great work, and we see people turn around, get better, improve. They're able to, have fulfilling lives, function at a low level of care, and that's just exciting. And it's the best part of my job to see someone who's been, written off as never going to get better, never going to change, and we're able to help affect that change. I'm really excited in the future as I start to learn more about the other modalities and start to incorporate that in my practice, and then see if we can develop, protocols that can be used in other community mental health clinics. It's incredibly meaningful to be recognized by the university. They're saying like, hey, we believe in you and the work that you're doing and want to support you. And that's amazing for the things that I want to do and the goals that I want to accomplish, and to be able to have, not just financial support, but also the mentoring and sponsorship. I just think it's such an incredible opportunity, and I feel really grateful that I can take advantage of it.
As we're looking to deal with both that education and the treatment of these patients, it's our research that really makes UCSF a unique opportunity. I've been fortunate to be selected as a Watson Scholar. This has allowed me to greatly expand my research efforts beyond just clinical outcomes, and to really consider basic science efforts as we're looking to figure out, from a rhinology perspective, some of the root causes of what is impacting our patients with chronic sinusitis. And from a skull-based perspective, we're using our state-of-the-art skull-based lab that we have in conjunction with neurosurgery to explore next-generation implementation of technology to provide a different experience and really transform the educational approach that we have for exploring skull-based anatomy and endoscopic approaches to help provide our patients. I think the combination of support and dedication that the university and the institution provide in such a welcoming and encouraging culture is a very unique but also the most exciting aspect of what makes me proud and honored to be a part of UCSF. It is really a fantastic program for me to be a part of, and it helps me in terms of talking and trying to recruit that next generation and build our pipeline when we're doing outreach and otherwise to show that we are at an institution that really is providing not only support in word but also in terms of actual dedication to our careers and our efforts.
The work that we're doing is studying the epidemiology of kidney disease in East Africa. We've been working there for the last 2 years, and we're just trying to understand the burden of kidney disease and also looking at genetic risk factors for kidney disease. We think that once we understand or better understand kidney diseases among Africans, that can inform the high risk of kidney diseases that we see among African Americans in this country. And that is overall my main interest, and it's something I'm very excited about. It's a huge honor to be named a Watson Scholar because it gives me the opportunity to really do the work that I'm really passionate about, and to be able to join the previous years of these wonderful people that I look up to. It's really an amazing opportunity, and I'm very, very excited that I'm here and I'm able to really have the opportunity to achieve this dream that I've had for a long time. So really having this opportunity to not only work at UCSF, its premier institution, but also to work in Sub-Saharan Africa. I'm originally from Sub-Saharan Africa, from Kenya, and so having that opportunity is really basically a dream come true. And so I'm very, very honored, but also excited to be here.